So the first thing is, and this is an old thing, how many years have we heard this? But last year it came up twice. People had neglected their pipeline of new business, and that's tragic. That is absolutely tragic. Two companies, one was doing extremely well and just hadn't got the need to worry about it. The CEO said to me, we're doing really well. So I asked him, I said, well, what about your pipeline? How many prospects, how many meetings? And he said, well, I don't know. I said, well, that's a really risky place to be, because although you're growing, and by the way, he was only growing because of price increases. That's a very dangerous oversight from the board. And if you haven't got a finance director, that's an easy oversight. If you've got a finance director, they'll tell you that as it happens. But basically, you do need new business. Now, if you haven't got a new business specific team, then you need to make sure that at least 1/5 of time, that's 20%, or 1 day in every 5, 1 day a week, is given over by your team to new business. If you don't do that, you will lose business at some point. It may be no fault of your own, but things change in a market very quickly. Lose 2 or 3 and you've got a real problem, because most of you out there can't replace business with new business in less than 3 months. And that's pretty quick, to be honest. So do make sure you've got an ongoing business program. But here's the issue. Don't expect people who are farmers. Do you know what? Farming and hunting, that's been around about 100 years now. It first came to light in America when door-to-door selling became a really big thing. And people realized that they were spending so much time going backwards and forwards to accounts or to people on the doorstep that they couldn't sell new business. So they developed the phrase, we've got to farm and we've got to hunt. Very American, right? Well, a CEO said to me, in fact, one of the guys who we have this problem with pipeline, he said to me, he said, the problem is, he said, my people just don't seem to be very good at it. And it isn't that they weren't very good at it, it was they couldn't actually do it because emotional barriers were in the way. So you need to understand your team. If you're a manager or a CEO, you need to understand, well, who is going to develop new business? Because what happens in sales meetings is people just make excuses. If their job description says you must make cold calls or new business calls, then they won't say, I can't do it. They'll simply put it off. And over the course of time, if the business is doing okay, you won't even realize they're not doing it. One person said to me in an interview last year, this is a salesperson, said, I'm just too busy. Well, that's nonsense, isn't it? You're just too busy to actually develop the business. So be very careful and make sure you've got the right people doing the right jobs in your business. How do you do that? Well, CEOs, I'm talking to you really here, and sales leaders, you need to bring self-awareness to the table very gently. We use profiling products to do that. One specific product, SDI, Strength Deployment Inventory, those of you who work with us will know it very well. It immediately shows you who wants to do it and who really doesn't want to do it. Now remember, if you've got a team that don't like it and don't want to do it, they'll do it for a little bit, but they won't do it ongoing. So 1 day a week won't happen. So if you are going to stick with the same people and you still need some new business, then you've got to make it easy for them, and you've got to make sure they're in the mood, they're happy, they feel good. Because remember, we need engagement with cold prospects, and that's very hard to do. The other thing is, a cold business strategy requires multi-channel marketing and multi-channel sales. So we want to see communication with marketing people, and we can help you with that if you need it through our friends, the marketing center. You need good channels on LinkedIn and lots of great content. And by the way, content's got to be for the person reading it, not for you. It's not how great you are, it's how great you're going to make someone else. So you need good LinkedIn contact, regular LinkedIn posting. We need email, dear old email, though never just email. Please don't think that a new business strategy can just be email led. It can't. Even WhatsApp, you can now get phone numbers, you can get mobile phone numbers. I put mine everywhere. Why? Because I want people to contact me. And by the way, I always answer my mobile phone, no matter who's selling to me, or people I don't know, I still answer the phone. And those mobile numbers are widely available. So don't put off cold calling because people will speak to you. As long as you've got something good to say to them, then it's worth doing. And if you are uncertain about the cost of employing a new person to do your cold business, test and measure it through external resources. We've got some very good contacts in businesses that are specialists at this and very good at this. And all you've got to do is allocate a small amount of budget for a 3-month test just to see whether or not this is going to work before you pile in with resource or investment. So test it. And that's a rule for everyone, really. Test and measure everything. Don't just pile in or waste time thinking things are going to work. Why? Because markets change, really, really quickly.